Hello, mighty companion. Here we are again, getting ready to claim our power, getting ready to take it to another level. I'm so glad to be able to share this with you. I'm Earl Purdy, here with your daily Course in Miracles lesson, and today's lesson is lesson 39. My holiness is my salvation. My holiness is my salvation. Now, one of the definitions of holiness in the Course in Miracles is innocence, and one of the definitions in the Course in Miracles for salvation is forgiveness. Another definition of salvation is healing. Another definition of salvation, which I really like, is right-mindedness. And another definition for salvation in the Course in Miracles is the escape from concepts, the escape from false concepts. That is salvation. So my holiness is my salvation, is my innocence is my healing, my innocence is my forgiveness, my innocence is my right-mindedness. My holiness is my salvation. If guilt is hell, what is its opposite? Like the text for which this workbook was written, the ideas used for the exercises are very simple, very clear, and totally unambiguous. We are not concerned with intellectual feats nor logical toys. We are dealing only in the very obvious. We're dealing only in the very obvious, which has been overlooked in the clouds of complexity in which you think you think. If guilt is hell, what is its opposite? This isn't difficult, surely. The hesitation you may feel in answering is not due to the ambiguity of the question, but do you believe that guilt is hell? If you did believe that guilt is hell, you would see at once how direct and simple the text of the Course in Miracles is, and you would not need a workbook at all if you believe that guilt is hell. No one needs practice to gain what is already his. We've already said that your innocence is your salvation of the world, that your innocence is the healing of the world. Your innocence is the healing of the world. Now, what about your own salvation? What about your own forgiveness? What about your own healing? You cannot give what you do not have. You cannot give what you do not have. You cannot give what you do not have. A Savior must be saved. You cannot give what you do not have. A Savior must be saved. How else can you teach salvation? Today's exercises will apply to you, recognizing that your salvation, your healing, your right-mindedness is crucial to the salvation and healing and right-mindedness of the world. As you apply the exercises to your world, the whole world stands to benefit. Your holiness, which is your innocence, is the answer to every question that was ever asked, is being asked now, or will be asked in the future. Your innocence, your holiness means the end of guilt, and therefore the end of hell. Your holiness, your innocence is the salvation of the world, and your own salvation and your own healing is your holiness, is your innocence. How could you, to whom your holiness belongs, be excluded from your holiness? How could you, to whom your innocence belongs, be excluded from your innocence? God, the Creator, doesn't know of unholiness. God, the Creator, doesn't know of guilt. Can it be that the Creator does not know you, His creation, His Son? A full 5 minutes are urged for the 4 longer practice periods for today, and long and more frequent practice sessions are encouraged. If you want to exceed the minimum requirements, more rather than longer sessions are recommended, although both are suggested. Begin the practice periods as usual by repeating today's idea to yourself. My holiness is my salvation. My innocence is my right-mindedness. Then, with your eyes closed, search out your unloving thoughts. Search out your upsetting thoughts in whatever form, where,
attack, insecurity, and so on. Whatever form your unloving thoughts take, they are unloving thoughts and therefore fearful thoughts. And so, from them, you need to be saved from your own unloving thoughts. You need to be saved from your own unloving thoughts. Specific situations, events, or personalities you associate with unloving thoughts of any kind are suitable for today's exercises. Anyone that you're feeling any kind of grievance, any kind of separation from, that's the person or the situation to use for your exercises. It is imperative for your salvation, which is your right-mindedness, that you see these people in these situations differently. And it is your blessing on these people in these situations that will save you, that will give you vision.
slowly, without conscious selection, and without undue emphasis on anyone in particular. Search your mind for every thought that stands between you and your happiness, you and your salvation, you and your right-mindedness. Search your mind for every thought that stands between you and your peace. And then apply the idea for today to each of these thoughts in this way. My unloving thoughts about whatever are keeping me in hell. My unloving thoughts about whoever are keeping me in hell. My fearful thoughts about whoever or whatever is keeping me in hell. My innocence is my salvation. My innocence is my healing. My innocence is my right-mindedness. My unloving thoughts about whoever, whatever are keeping me in hell, which is fear. My holiness, my innocence is my salvation. You may find these practice periods easier if you intersperse these practice periods with several short periods during which you merely repeat today's idea to yourself slowly a few times. You may also find it helpful to include a few short intervals in which you just relax and do not seem to be thinking of anything. Sustained concentration is very difficult at first. It will become much easier as your mind becomes more disciplined and less distractible. Meanwhile, you should feel free. You should feel free to introduce variety into the exercise periods in whatever form appeals to you. You should feel free to put some variety in the exercise period, however that appeals to you. Do not, however, change the idea itself as you vary the method of applying the idea. However you elect to use the idea should be stated so that its meaning is the fact that your innocence is your healing. Your innocence is your right-mindedness. Your innocence is your salvation. Your holiness is your salvation. In each practice period, by repeating the idea in its original form once more and adding, my holiness is my salvation. If guilt is hell, what is the opposite of guilt? What's the opposite of hell? If guilt is fear, if guilt is hell, what is its opposite? That's a good question. In the shorter application, which should be made some 3 or 4 times an hour, or more, if possible, you may ask yourself this question. Repeat today's idea. My holiness is my salvation. My innocence is my healing, right? And if temptation arises, a particularly helpful form of the idea is, my holiness is my salvation from this situation. My innocence is my right-mindedness from this situation. My innocence is my healing from this situation. My innocence is my right-mindedness from this situation. My innocence is my release from this situation. It's the same as saying, my holiness is my salvation from this. My holiness is my salvation from this. Your holiness is your salvation from this. Your holiness is your salvation from this situation that may be upsetting you right now. Your holiness is your salvation. Your holiness is your healing. Your holiness is your healing. So your chant would really be, my holiness is my healing. My holiness is my healing. Yeah, my holiness is my healing. 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 My innocence is my healing. My innocence is my healing. The lesson is, my holiness is my salvation. Your holiness is your salvation. Okay, that's your lesson for today. This is Earl Purdy. I want to invite you to check out my classes at earlpurdy.com. Let peace extend from my mind to yours.